morning to one and all present here. I welcome the guest of honor of today's event, Dr. A.B. Remashri Madam, Director at Spice Board of India, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Cochin, Sri Ranjit Ramachandran Sir, Chief Executive Officer at Plant Lipids Private Limited, Cochin, and our chief guest, Dr. Jix Anthony, Sir, Global Head Innovation at Olam Food Ingredients Private Label and Food Services, our Honorable Director, Sir IFPT, respected speakers, and the dear participants. I really appreciate all of you for taking your time off to be with us for the today's webinar. It is inspiring to share that our today's webinar has been organized under the banner of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, promoting the Atmanirbhar Bharat as the part of the scheme Prime Minister Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises. Our today's webinar is on spices, turmeric, ginger, and chili processing and its value addition. So, without taking any further time, I would like to invite Dr. V.R. Sinija Madam, Professor and Head at IFPT and PMFME Coordinator for the welcome address, please.
Thank you, Silky. Respected Chief Guest, Dr. Jix Anthony Sir, Global Head Innovation, Olam Food Ingredients, Bangalore. Respected Guest of Honor, Dr. A.B. Ramashri Madam, Director, Spice Board of India, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Cochin. Dr. Ranjit Ramachandran, Chief Executive Officer of Plant Lipids, Cochin. Respected Director of Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology, Dr. C. Anandaramakrishnan Sir. Eminent speakers from various organizations and industries, and participants from across the country, dear faculty, students, very pleasant morning to all. Today, IFPT is hosting the 7th webinar on ODOP webinar series under Rasadika Amrit Mahotsav under the PMFME scheme, a scheme which is launched by Ministry of Food Processing Industries last year, June, for the upgradation of micro food processing enterprises in our country. And today's webinar on ODOP spices, especially the turmeric, gingeric, and chili, and its value addition, processing and value addition. It is a very needed topic and the timely one. 74 districts from 22 states have selected these spices as ODOP under this scheme. And today we have with us our chief guest, Dr. Jix Anthony Sir, Global Head Innovation, Olam Food Ingredients. And Sir is always supporting IAFPT in all our R&D endeavors as the expert of our ministry's R&D scheme. And Sir is like a family member to IAFPT. So on behalf of Director and entire IAFPT family and the participants, extend a warm welcome to Sir for this inaugural session. Welcome you, Sir. And then I would extend a warm welcome to our guest of honor, Remashri Madam, Director, Spice Board of India, and Dr. Ranjit Ramachandran Sir, CEO of Plant Lipids. Thank you so much, both of you, for accepting our invitation on a short notice and be with us today for this inaugural function. And on behalf of Director and the entire IAFPT family and all the participants here, extend a warm welcome to you, Madam, and Ramachandran Sir also. Sir, welcome you both. And next, I would like to welcome our Director, Sir, who is instrumental behind organizing this function today. Welcome you, Sir, for this inaugural ceremony. And also a warm welcome to all the eminent speakers who accepted our invitation and be here either for chairing the sessions and for delivering the lectures. Welcoming you all for this inaugural function of this ODOP webinar. And last but not the least, all the participants who are all supporting IAFPT for organizing these webinars, and welcoming you all for this today's webinar, and also entire IAFPT family who are here participating this event. Welcoming you all. Once again, welcome you all. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We have with us our Honorable Director, Sir, Dr. C. Anand Ramakrishnan. Sir is the Director of Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology, Thanjavur, from the year 2016. His research endeavors are well documented in the form of 147 impact factor publications with an average impact factor of 5.19, 2 international patents and 7 Indian patents. Sir is also the author of 8 books and 63 book chapters published by the coveted publishers. Sir was awarded with the prestigious ICAR Rafi Ahmed Kidwai Award for the outstanding research in agriculture sciences in the year 2019. Under his able leadership, IFPT has won several laurels in the last 5 years and we have achieved INI standards. We welcome you, sir. I would like you to invite you for the presidential address, please.
Thank you so much, Silky and Dr. Sinija, and most respected Dr. Jakes Anthony, sir. What Dr. Sinija mentioned about sir is the family member of IFPT. All the journey of IFPT, sir is involved. And once again, welcoming you for this wonderful morning, sir, and also Rima Sri ma'am. And ma'am, it is a very short notice when we reached out to you. Immediately, you accepted, ma'am. Thank you so much, and we want a longer collaboration with the your board, ma'am, and IFPT wanted to work very closely with your ministry, ma'am. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, ma'am. And Ranjit Ramachandran, sir, and it's like recently we started working closely with the sir and with their industry. We are going to sign very soon some of the projects. We are going to work very closely with plant lipids industry. So definitely, you are all three as accepted today's event is that and on behalf of IFPT family, I like to say thanks to you, all the invitees as well as the guests who accepted today's invitation. And Asadika Amrut Mahotsav. And as per the government of India, this whole week, Ministry of Food Processing Industries are celebrating. The whole week, every day, we are conducting the program from the Ministry of Food Processing Industry. We started with the tomato processing, and yesterday, some of the inauguration has been done by our minister, honorable minister of state, and today is a spice processing, and tomorrow and followed by the coming Friday, we are going to inaugurate at IFPT Center of Excellence in the Grain Sciences as well as the School of Sensory Science. 2 units will be inaugurated by the Honorable Minister. This whole week, Ministry is celebrating till Sunday. So one of such week is today. We are making that one district, one product concept with the spice processing and value addition. If you look at the spice industry in India, India is the largest producer of the spice and largest consumer as well as the exporter of the spice. But we need to capitalize still more level of the processing of the spices. If you look at one micro food processing industry, easy to start with spice industry, apart from the bakery unit. With the framework of PMFME, under that only one district, one product concept has been evolved. And it is not the new. Japan has been already tested one village, one product. We wanted to operate the similar model with the bottom up approach. All the technical support handholding is going to be given for the micro food processing enterprises. In India's total strength of food processing industry, more than 90% of the industry lies on the micro food processing industries. $263 billion of the market size, what we are witnessing in Indian food industry. 90% industries comes from the micro food processing industries. Every street, every town, we have the so many units, either milling units or the baking units. So many units are there. We wanted to formalize, we wanted to use the technological, we wanted to bring these units into the formalized manner to bring into the main supply line. So how to give that technological support? That's what this PMFME scheme has been formulated from the master trainers to the district level trainers and the DRPs. This DRPs is going to help all the applicants. Already most of the states received more than 100 applicants. We wanted to train 8 lakh enterprises for the next 4 years time. It's not the small number, 8 lakh people we wanted to train, and not the training for the awareness training. 56 hours training, in intensive training we are going to give along with the third party assessment like a fixie. That's what the total framework of capacity building under the ODOP scheme. And the spice, we can do one side is straight away is a milling, grading, and packing. That is the one way we looked into that spice. It is it's definitely it's going to happen. Apart from that, we can go for the ingredient levels, and maybe jigsaw can be talked about a little bit on the ingredient side, as well as I could see that today Dr. K. Srinivasan sir, one person, spice means you can get in India. K. Srinivasan sir, he has published so many papers and the book, and one of the highest cited scientists of in India is the food scientist Dr. K. Srinivasan sir, retired scientist from CFTR. I welcome you, sir. And the documentation, what we created, even Srinivasan sir so many things sir has made it like how is a health benefit of the spice principles. For example, if you look at the demand of the COVID backdrop, this turmeric demand is increased so much. The people have smuggled the turmeric from the Thoothukudi port, but still we have to do a lot. Each and every component in the turmeric can be made available for the bioactive principles. Either we can take it a curcumin, and if you wanted to take it the oleoresin industry, remove the curcumin, you get the CRTO, that is the curcumin removed oleoresin. We can take even from their aromatic turmeric. It's a very good antioxidant to bioactive principles are there. That's what nothing has been waste from the any of the spice molecules. That's what we need to look. We have to put a lot of effort and giving this type of support from the government of India. You have to invest only 3 lakhs rupees. 17 lakhs loan will be arranged by the government of India. 10 lakhs subsidy has been given, where you can get such a handhold support. You no need to do anything, just you have to fill your applications. The person, the DRP person will come to you, help you to get everything, including the GST, FSSI license, starting the industry. IFPT is going to support all the technical institution we wrote. Indian Institute of Spice Research Institution is supporting for all the technical support for the under this spices. So that's what we made the whole framework such a manner. So hope this conference or this today's webinar definitely will help you to get some idea about which is the spice industry you wanted to start, where to start, how to do the business, and look at India's food processing sector last April to this February is grown to multiple level, almost 20% growth rate we could able to witness, especially ready to eat, ready to cook product is increased more than 35% business, almost 40,000 crore of product we exported last 1 year alone. So this indicates without any spice, we can't do any product in Indian market. So that means the spice play the major role and we are already producing. So we need to capitalize still more bigger market. So hope more entrepreneurs will come forward to start micro industry in India, and we'll like to support from the IFPT side. Technical support ministry will like to give the full financial and other support, and the technical persons today experts are come and you can interact with them, and the whole program will be after that available in the videos form. Anybody could not attend today's program, they can watch and they can learn how to do the things in the future. Thank you so much for once again for joining us, especially for the guest Jix Antony sir, Sri ma'am, and Ranjit Ramchandran sir. Thank you, sir.
So much, sir. Now, I would like to invite our guest of honor, Dr. Rema Shri Madam, Director at Spice Board of India, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Cochin. Ma'am has been awarded PhD degree from University of Calicut in the year of 1994 and having 29 years of experience of R&D and administrative for the development of institute infrastructure research facilities. Ma'am is holding the position of Director Research and Development, Spice Board, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. As a research director, she also holds the charge of quality evaluation labs and development activities of Spice Board all over the India. She is the project coordinator for the Skill Development Program on Spices under PMKVY, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. Ma'am is having administrative experience in running specific institutions or GMP compliant drug industry and develop a Center of Excellence Laboratory for the quality control and drug standardization funded by the Ministry of Ayush. She has 511 research citations and produced more than 200 publications, book chapters, and recipient of 6 awards from the government. Ma'am has successfully completed more than 10 externally funded major projects from different funding agencies, and she has been nominated as the chairperson of Research and Development of International Pepper Community, Jakarta, Indonesia, during the year 2018 to 19. We welcome you, ma'am. I would like to invite you to address our gathering.
Thank you for an elaborate introduction and most eminent personalities, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers, especially Dr. Ananta Ramakrishnan, Director, IIF PT, for inviting me and giving an opportunity to address the gathering. And this Asadika Amrit Mahotsav is an initiative of Government of India to celebrate and commemorate 75 years of progressive India and also the glorious history of its people, culture and achievements. This Asadika Amrit Mahotsav is dedicated to the people of India who have not only been the instrumental in bringing India thus far in its evolutionary journey, but also hold within them the power and potential to enable vision of activating India, fueled by the spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And this Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is an embodiment of all that is progressive about the India's socio-culture, political as well as economic identity. Coming to this one district, one product webinar on spices processing and value addition, we all know that all the raw material are processed to improve their palatability, nutritional value, and shelf life, and thereby preservation for later consumption or sale. This is the primary reason for food processing. When coming to the scope of food processing, we are all know India is the world's second largest producer of food next to China and has the potential of being the biggest with the food and agriculture sector. The food production in India is likely to be doubled in the next 10 years, and there is an opportunity for large investment in food and food processing technologies, skill, and equipments, especially in the area of that means canning, dairy, and food processing, packing, frozen foods, etc. There are array of technologies that there to utilize. And India produce nearly 16% of world total food grain production, and huge potential domestic demand for processed food, and other than the demand for export. And there are many socio-economic factors that are driving the demand side of Indian food processing industry, and the changing consumption pattern that both in different tiers, rising their income level among the middle class and changing lifestyle are some of the factors providing the demand side push for the food industry as well food processing industries. Moreover, the central government has given a priority status to all agro processing businesses. Actually, today's topic is spice processing and value addition. We all know spice is a name that cannot be dispensed with. It is so connected with the evolution of mankind that it is an integral part of our history, culture, belief, and medicine, and also gastronomic diversities now. If you are looking to the history of India, we know that the importance of spice trade, and it is particularly a network of sea route and ports made in the world's oldest, deepest, and most aromatic trade hub. So we all know that spices are growing in Western Ghats, Northern Himalaya, and other different agroclimatic conditions with a different variety of quality. So we need to preserve and conserve in different form. So there is a essential need for processing and processing for different value-added products. And when coming to the treasure of our spice, we know that black pepper, Malabar black pepper is well known in the world. Then small cardamom, then Alapi finger turmeric, then with high curcumin and chilies, then ginger, Cochin ginger, and so on. There are brands, Indian brands are there in the spice quality, and we are all aware that there are different types of chilies which is growing in northeastern states with that is Bujalokia, the hottest chili in the world, and Lakdon turmeric. Everything is there. So bird's eye chili from Mizoram. These are all the treasure of India. So how we can make it value added? How we can process and value addition? So there is an important role for the processing and value addition. And one more thing that we have to point out that when value addition is coming, for example, turmeric, when we are value adding fresh to a value added, that means oil, oleoresin, or curcumin, the percentage of margin starts from 14 to 1025 percentage. You just imagine the variation of margin when from a raw material, that means in fresh form, then dried, sliced, or powdered, or value, that means value addition. Step by step value addition is giving more value to the product, and thereby the people who is working behind is getting more benefit out of it. I mean, margin is high when it changes to value addition. So, in connection with this, there are so many other factors also the industry is facing, that we are all know that the pesticide issue will be there, then aflatoxin, so on. So, the farmers also having, that means selection of the best variety for the processing is another important item. And it was then coming to when we are talking about the spice trade, this we are also having the most important among the value added is spice oil and oleoresin, contributing 70 to 80 percentage of the total world supply. That the state of the art technologies are already developed in the sector, which gives India a unique position in the global spice extraction front. So this is an important point. That means 70 to 80 percentage of the value added, that means spice, oils, and oleoresin is backed by India. So we have to concentrate more because we have the state of the art technologies. So no need to say the chief guest is know all the things very well, and I think he will explain more in detail. And spices as a health supplement and an anti-disease agent gaining more prominence in the nutraceutical and pharmaceutical sector during the decade which followed. And many of the spices and spice extract find their application in different that's different area, that means advanced research, stem cell studies, and also nutraceutical, regenerative medicine, so on. Then spice extracts are finding increased industrial use as a natural food color as well as preservatives. So there are a lot of possibilities, and future is there for spice processed and value addition. I do again realize that this is a pretty long introduction, but I have said very little about the vast and varied spices of India and its high value added products. There is a whole heap more to add on it. It gives me immense pride to remark that India still honor its legacy and supremacy in the cultivation, processing, and value addition and trade of spices. And when India is also take a pleasure to being the world's largest producer, consumer, as well as exporter, and this is the biggest with the biggest market network. And India primarily export raw form and value-added forms of pepper, chili, turmeric, ginger, cardamom. I think almost all the spices, major spices, either in the form of raw or processed, or such as oil, oleoresin, and mint product is also getting a prior position. That means 2 years back, mint product. That means mint got the prime position for the export. Now this year 2021, it is backed by chili. So we there are a lot of scope for our spices and value added products. Then coming back to the Indian spice industry and its potential, I'm happy to say that the Indian spice industry could successfully serve the global requirement for spices, having immunity boosting properties also. And during 2021, despite of the continuous COVID pandemic and the consequent recession in the global economy, spice export from India is get its upward trend and has crossed 4.1 US billion mark for the first time in the history of spice export. And ministry also appreciated in the spice fraternity for bagging this 30 percentage increase. That is 30 percentage increase of export compared to last year's. That is a very important thing that we have to project in terms of spices when coming to the commodity wise. The estimated export during 2021 has been 15.61 lakh metric ton, valued at around 27,193 crores against, and it is actually comparing when last year it is 30% in quantity as well as 23% in value. And when comparing the dollar term, it is 17% increase in our spice export. So, and one more another thing is India is exporting this spice raw as well as value added product to 180 destination around in 150 forms. So you know that means this wide array of products, value added products, India is exporting to different destination. That means 180 destination. It is so high. And then major, we are exporting to 9 destinations. 70% of our export is going to major China, USA, Bangladesh, Thailand, UAE, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, UK, so on. So these are the spice strength of spice industry. And from the ministry, we have a target of 4.8 US million dollars in the coming 2022 and 5 billion by 2025. And I request all the food processing industry and also industry who is involving value addition, please come forward to hand in hand to attain the target of 5 billion by 2024, 2025. And we know that certain constraints also related to food processing and value addition, which is mainly related to quality standards. That the constraint is poor infrastructure for storing or raw material or some related issues. That means cold storage facility or the low quality material or the presence of moisture. There are so many parameters are there which leads to certain constraint for the food processing and value addition. So there should be a clear cut SOP, that means a standard operational practice to make a product a high quality, which is safe to eat. Because in coming years, we have to concentrate not only the value added products alone, but the safe to eat aspect also we have to take them there. So for that, from the farm, we have to give the good agriculture practice to farm, how to you manage this pesticide and sustainable production. Sustainable production from farm, then to step by step processing and up to trade. So in all the level, the sustainable practice has to maintain. So it will lead to to reduce the trade barriers and also rejections. And we also, because you know that 85 to 86% of the spices is consuming in India, that means we have to care about our health also, safety with product. So with this, I hope this webinar on spice processing and value addition will showcase the Indian supremacy in spice sector and would serve as a one-stop information point for all the stakeholders on the different aspects of cultivation, post-harvest, processing and value addition of spices. An array of eminent panelists and speakers are attending in this webinar for knowledge sharing. I wish all success to this great venture, and I wish you all a happy, prosperous day. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing such knowledgeable input with all of us. Now, I would like to invite our guest of honor, Shri Ranjit Ramachandran Sir, Chief Executive Officer at Plants Limited, Cochin. Sir is having 36 years of experience, out of which the last 15 years has been in the senior leadership positions in food and pharmaceutical ingredients business. Sir has joined Plant Lipids Private Limited, one of the global leaders in spice oils and extracts, as its first CEO 10 years back. Prior to that, he was executive director at Nita Gelatin India Limited. An engineering graduate with MBA, Sir has held responsibilities in multiple functional areas during his long professional career. Sir has steered Plant Lipids on a rapid growth path in the past 10 years. We welcome you, sir. I would like to invite you to address our gathering.
Good morning to one and all. Let me at the outset thank Dr. Ananda Ramakrishnan and the team members of IFPT for having given me an opportunity to speak in this occasion, which is coinciding with the celebration of India's 75th year of independence. The Portuguese, the Dutch, and the British came to India in search of the black gold, and it is therefore apt that we are today discussing spices. It has been 1.5 years since the whole world has been reeling under the impact of the pandemic, and we have to learn with this situation, and it has sort of become a new normal. We have seen drastic changes in the consumer behavior and buying pattern during this period. Consumers the world over are moving towards healthier food. Spices, besides providing delicious flavors to the food we eat, all of them possess numerous active ingredients that are beneficial to mankind. The traditional Indian cuisine has been enriched with spices, and there is a high level of awareness of the health benefits of using different spices such as turmeric, ginger, pepper, etc. in India. Companies like ours are in the process of carrying this message across the globe. The Indian spice business is facing serious threats from countries like China, Vietnam, Brazil, and Indonesia. We need to maintain our supremacy in this business by meeting the challenges in front of us. Innovation in technology, in not just processing, but also in agriculture practices, is inevitable. Therefore, the role of institutes of excellence like IFPT is very important in helping the industries to embrace new technologies. We are happy to inform everyone that we have started working closely with IFPT on several new projects. The global regulations for food processed products and food ingredients are becoming more stringent by the day, and we have to educate our farmers not to use harmful pesticides and in turn adopt good agriculture practices. There are numerous possibilities to add value to spices. We have been in the forefront of adopting new technologies and new product development opportunities in this segment. I would like to elaborate on some of the work we have been doing because I think that would be of interest to the audience because we have been in this business of spice extracts and essential oils for the last 42 years. Currently, we have 11 manufacturing facilities located in different parts of India and also outside India. Our focus has always been enhancing the value of spices by the extraction, isolation of active principles, and finding different applications for that, working alongside with customers. Our biggest customers are have been the flavor companies of the world, the big flavor companies of the world, and the consumer product companies. And we are now selling to almost 85 countries across the world. And we are functioning in 5 different verticals. The primary vertical is the spice, oils, and oleoresins business, which is catering to the food flavor and seasonings business. So, which the oleoresins and essential oils form a vital ingredient for the preparation of food flavors and seasonings. There again, the preference, the cuisine is different from country to country, and therefore we need to adapt to the different requirements of different cuisine. And that has been a huge challenge, and at the same time, a huge opportunity for us. So, if you look at besides the major spices which we are talking about, like in today's topic, the key 3 spices which are in focus are turmeric, ginger, and chili. But then we do at least around 120 different spices and herbs. We have a plethora of products, more than 500 different products. Most of our products are highly customized, and we work in coming out with new products with higher active principles, concentrates, and even encapsulated products. So, in our range of products, we have not just the solvent extracted. I mean, we have the steam distilled essential oils. Then we have the solvent extracted oleoresins, wherein both the flavor as well as the aroma component is brought back into a concentrate form, which helps the customers use measured quantities in their, especially in the processed food industry, it's quite easy for the customers to use it in a measured way. We have moved into new technologies like supercritical fluid extraction. We set up a plant. Initially, we set up a pilot plant. We started sending out samples to our customers way back in 2011. And subsequently, in 2016, we set up a 300 into 3 liter supercritical extraction, fluid extraction plant, which is from Austria. And right now, we are in the process of setting up a massive plant, which will become the world's largest supercritical fluid extraction plant for spices. And we are hoping that the plant will be commissioned by end of this year. So besides that, we also do microencapsulation spices and whole lot of different flavors, including roasted flavors and other flavors which are meeting the discerning needs of the consumers. I would like to say when we are talking about the three important spices of which is being discussed today of turmeric. Turmeric, as Remasri Madam had just mentioned, is having tremendous potential the world over in terms of the health benefits of curcumin. So we are one of the world's largest processors of turmeric. We consume around 15,000 metric tons of turmeric every year for processing mostly into curcumin 95%. We are processing about 40,000 metric tons of chili. We have two factories, one in Hyderabad and one in Khammam. Khammam plant has been recently commissioned. Between those plants, we process more than 300 metric tons per day of chili. And we work alongside with, and again, when it comes to ginger, we process around 3,000 metric tons per annum. These are the, since I'm just mentioning the numbers of the three spices which are being discussed today. But we have a fairly very large capacity to process pepper, and most of the pepper we process is being done in Sri Lanka because the Sri Lankan pepper variety has high piperine and high essential oil content. If in olden times we used to get such pepper in India, but these days we are not getting high piperine pepper in India, so we had to go into Sri Lanka to source the material and process the material there itself. In terms of value addition, we have, if you look at chili oleoresin, we start from the low concentration up to almost 40% percentage capsicum oleoresin, and we also go up to 95% for health and wellness products, which the 95% capsaicin product is good for hair growth and a few other applications like counter-irritant. In the case of curcumin, I should say, during our journey, we had set up a new company by name Audio Biolabs Private Limited, which is purely focused on nutraceutical products. And we have already filed about 30 patent applications, and we've been granted a few patents. One of our bestsellers is wholesome turmeric matrix, where we are enhancing the bioavailability by 10 times from that normal curcumin. We have done almost 4 to 5 clinical trials in this product, and the product has been highly accepted in the global market, especially in US. And recently we started selling it in the consumer market in India as well. So this is a testimony of the potential of a product like of a crop like turmeric to be value added and made into a consumer product. So we ourselves are doing it, and we have seen excellent results coming out of that, and we have got excellent feedback from the world over. We are using a unique platform technology called PNS, which is polar non-polar sandwich technology, where we are bringing together not just the curcumin, but we are bringing back 200 different inherent bioactives in the turmeric and recreating the wholesome turmeric matrix in our product. So that's one of our key products which we have developed under the banner of Audio Biolabs. We've also worked on a similar kind of wholesome matrix for ginger, and that product is under studies now. We have a PK study is going on, and we are hoping that that product will also. We are positioning that product for as a digestive support product, and we are sure that that product will also have a lot of positive response in the market. So I mentioned about the possibilities in Chile. So we, for developing the possibilities in Chile, since we consume, we are one of the largest consumers of value-added chili manufacturing. So that since we buy the high heat chili, currently we are buying the Teja variety of chili from the Warangal, Khammam, and Guntur areas between Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. We are planning, we're working with some seed companies on hybrid chili, which as we speak, we are distributing the seedlings across almost 10,000 acres in this region and trying to propagate hybrid chili cultivation, which can give us a much higher heat and therefore the process efficiency and also the product quality will be increased a great deal. Uh, we are doing the same thing with turmeric. We have engaged in what we call a trace program, where we are ensuring end-to-end traceability of turmeric, which we are cultivating in primarily in the Gundalpet region of Karnataka, and we've been fairly successful, and our customers have highly appreciated the work we have done in this regard, and we are in a position to confidently say that we are using turmeric which can be traced back to the farm. We are also doing a similar exercise in marigold, where we have started from seed, seed propagation to cultivation in about 4,100 acres in and around the Hubli region of Karnataka, northern Karnataka region. So we start from the seed and we end to the nutraceutical product, which is called lutein, which is a high support product. So it's a whole, a completely backward integration story which we have to say when we talk about marigold. And the farm, we have several farmers families, thousands of farmers families whom we are supporting in these three areas, that is in the area of chili cultivation, the area of turmeric cultivation, and the area of marigold cultivation. And we are extending that in ginger cultivation in the Shimoga region of Karnataka. And we are also working with farmers in Rajasthan for cumin, and also farmers in in Punjab for celery cultivation. So these are the efforts we are taking on the ground level in terms of supporting the farmer. But what we are finding a bit lacking is in terms of the support, the usage, the restricted usage of pesticides or the controlled use of pesticides, right, which is highly essential. And I'm sure that the entire community will come together and educating the farmers and stressing the importance of good agriculture practices. With these few words, I would like to thank the organizers for having given me an opportunity to speak in this very, very important conference. And I'm sure the chief guest of the day, Dr. Anthony, and the rest of the speakers will be talking much more in detail about the possibilities and potential of working with different spices and creating value to the people, generating value to the entire supply chain. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing such valuable inputs with us. Now, it's my profound pleasure to now invite our today's chief guest, Dr. Anthony. He is currently working with Olam Food Ingredients as Global Head of Innovation, Private Label and Food Services. Before joining Olam, Dr. Anthony was working with Nestle Germany as R&D lead for health platform. Prior to joining the Nestle Germany, Dr. Anthony was the head of R&D for ITC Limited Foods division. Besides that, sir has also worked in the United States of America and Singapore for several years. Sir also serves as the expert committee member in the Ministry of Food Processing Industries, Government of India, and is also a committee member of Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS. Dr. Anthony has also contributed to United Nations World Food Programme and has 31 patents and several publications to his credit. Dr. Anthony earned his master's and PhD degree in chemistry from Chemical Engineering Division, Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. We welcome you, sir. I invite you to kindly address our gathering.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all of you. So firstly, I would like to thank the IIFPT and the organizers of this program, especially Dr. Ananda Ramakrishnan, for inviting me to be here today. Also, I felt very privileged to be among the eminent personalities today, Dr. Anandaramakrishnan, Dr. Srinivasan, and Dr. Reema Shri, and Mr. Ramachandran. And I see this is a nice blend, Dr. Ananda Ramakrishnan, of scientists, technology, engineering, technocrats, and industry leaders. So, with that background, let me start my speech. So, let me just give a background of what I'm going to speak first, so then people get the idea of what they can expect. So first, let me just give a little bit of a platform of what food industry understanding is, because all your products in some way will end up in this food processing industry. Then we get into some information about the spices industry and mostly the technical challenges. It's not to scare you all, but to just to be aware what kind of challenges one may face. But when we set the stage with the challenges, and also I will try to touch upon some guidance, which of course you will get a detailed one from Spices Board, FSSA, all of that, but I have also taken some information from them. I will share that, top level sharing. Then to channel, like where you can, which trade channel you have to focus. So you look at the challenges, then you look at the solutions. Where do you focus on the trade channels? So within the channels, where some opportunity areas for especially the small scale and micro scale industries in spices. Then at the end, we'll go to quality, because that's the most important aspect of this whole business. And there again, it is not to get, it's very expensive quality and all of that. So we'll set some examples and see how this can be managed in a lower cost or least cost model. So with that, now let me just tell you about the food industry. As we know that Indian food industry or processed food industry covers only 32% of the food supply in India. So just make a comparison. If you look at a developed market, say we look at the United States of America, processed food will be about more than 75%. Now, when we say processed food in this type of developed market, it is, I would say, it is very ultra processed. So there is an opportunity there, but it is ultra processed, is not for health, not good for health. So all that we have to keep that in mind when we try to focus on these areas. So when we say that you have to focus on such markets or go for such industry, food processing industry, there are some trends that I see emerging or emerged in this market. Because I want to list these trends, because we have followed these trends mostly in our market too. Slowly, we get into that sooner or later. So when we look at these trends, the first one I see today is all focused on food. Is mainly not only taste; it is getting into health and wellness in a broad sense. I'm talking about. Then comes a trend now is plant-based, vegan, and vegetarian. Nothing new for us as an Indians, but develop market packages, in a nice format with a lot of scientific background into it, and we tend to pay more money and then try to follow the trend which we already had. Then comes, the free from. These are the other trend. Free from, I say, food free from, say, gluten, free of lactose, free of dairy, free of animal products, and all of that. So the free from is another huge trend which is emerging. Then next is the fermented foods. Then comes the personalized nutrition. So today people, in such market are not talking about widely about a huge population for food targets, and then they look at personalized nutrition. My need of the nutrition may be different to yours. So this is another focused trend area this market's looking at. Sustainability is another big area. Whenever you look at it, you try to send a product and you export a product today, and if you give a story of sustainability, where you sustainably are making and producing your product, is a huge welcome thing for these customers in that area, because not only the companies you will approach, even the individual customer who goes to the aisle and then picking a product and looking at the label, if there is a sustainability story, they are likely to pick it. Especially the youngsters, the millennials, are looking for such solutions today. Then comes the transparency. That is, your product may have 5 ingredients, and you need to have a transparency of where do they come from, right? Don't put some hidden things like this flavor, that flavor, all of that. Those markets, they look at real names, not numbers and all of that, but they need to know what is in there and where is it coming from. That's what they call transparency. If someone want to really look at it, the blockchain is the one which people are using today in such food supply chain, that industry. The next one is a clean label. I don't write anything on my product list of ingredients which my consumer will not know. So I put everything which the general guidance is what you pull out your drawer in the kitchen, what you find, you try to use such ingredients, then you will easily get into the clean label. The last one is the paleo and ethnic diets. The paleo and ethnic diets, when I worked on this and then tried to sell it as say €6 or sorry, about 500, 600 rupees a meal, I was just looking at this ingredients and the way that is made. This is all my grandparents were eating all these food products. Today we pack them, with a little bit of more of science. I'm saying it is really that they qualify for such a price because they add a lot of science into it. And this type of diets is in the market today, paleo and ethnic diets. So out of this list, but this is not the only list. Maybe there are more, but this is what I could immediately think of and listed it here. Now, out of this list, some could be real facts that maybe some 1 or 2 years it's just flying and then it goes off. Some are going to remain, for forever or for long. For example, sustainability, transparency, these are all going to stay for long. Quality is one of other parameter which I missed there. Then now, when I look at it, is 32% of processed food I told you. So then you can look at the remaining unprocessed or the food supply chain what we have. There's a huge opportunity for our food industry today. So when I look at the opportunity, it is in two ways. One is the market volume, which I'm saying. The other one is also, if you notice, the consumers in our market is getting aware of quality, food safety, nutrition, nutrient density, all of that. Just to notice that people today, the extras, especially when they pick the product, they look at the claim and then turn the pack and then see what ingredients, what is the nutritional labeling you are making. So there is an awareness is improving and increasing already in our market. So these are all the good opportunity for any food processing industry today, but your products are getting into it. So now let's come into the spices area. So processing and trade of spices has a long history for our country, right? It is for ages, which Mr. Ramachandran also was mentioning from Portuguese time, 1600s, we have all this history. And also it is contributing significantly to our economy, which, Dr. Rima Shree's, Spices Board, Commerce Ministry is contributing so much into our economy, which we all know. And she also gave some numbers to us to see that it was really big numbers, right, for our economy. And with that background, when we come to spice products, mostly it's going to be, dried form is what we are going to use. So when we come to dry foods, most are going to be safe because less of food poisoning expected because you are drying them well, eliminating all pathogens and all of that. But when it comes to spices, these are quite special because you cannot just club them with other dried foods because there's a high chances of having contaminations and microorganisms and foreign matters. These are all very common contaminants in food, in spices, even though they are dried. So one has to keep that, that in mind. So now we come to some of the guidance which I have taken from Spices Board or FSSA recommendations, also from my own experience. The first one is the correct, harvest time for the spices. Because if you say, for example, the farmer, maybe average farmer in our society, and he needs money, so probably he may be looking at going for a little premature harvesting. When they have premature harvesting, they may get enough money for it, but they miss out on quality because the complete biochemical pathways within the plant may have not fully developed. So his active ingredients, say for example, if you take pepper, piperine, essential oils, all not going to be fully developed. So his final yield for his processor is going to be less, and he is going to be paid on those parameters. So correct harvest time is most critical part for the farmer side. Then comes the primary processing. When you say primary processing, it's the drying in case of spices. So primary processing today in our country mostly happens in sun drying or roadside drying. So, but enough care has to be taken because this all can invite a lot of contaminants, especially when you have suppose roadside drying, the automobile exhaust deposits are going to be there that will have a lot of particulate matter. It's all going to diminish or reduce your income because of the bad quality which comes along with this type of processing. Then comes the design and your facility, because from there then you transport to a transporting facility which has to be really what you call sanitized or use proper ways of transporting the quality in mind. Then it goes to a processing facility. In the processing facility, which Mr. Ramachandran today explained, with so many facilities they have, these are all well designed, well laid out plans. But for a small industry like yours, plenty of information available in internet. What kind of location you have to choose, how to put the layout for your factory, where the entry has to be, where the exit has to be, all of that. Then come the operations, where the critical control points you will bring into your process. Identifying the critical control points is very, very critical. There are so many experts. Like for example, if you go to institutions like IIFPT, they are going to help you with identifying the critical control points. Once you identify, maintaining the quality is not a difficult process. Then comes the maintenance and sanitation is an important parameter there. Personal hygiene is, especially in our country, we have to keep this. But for all of us in this type of small industry, this is a good opportunity, which Mr. Ramachandran also touched upon in the beginning of speech. If you all remember, if we are in a very difficult time, COVID time, and we are trying to get away from it. But one thing which we achieved as a country and as a is the sanitizing or hygienic practices, washing hands, using alcohol in our hands to get rid of pathogens. So these are all the good opportunity. But I'm saying personal hygiene today, it can be easily educated. People understand that. Then last is, of course, product labeling. When you sell a product, your label is your connect or your bridge between you and your consumer. So what kind of information can go into the label? One has to be very, very clear. Just simply don't print it. Just think about it, put some thought process into it, add enough information which are legally uh, okay. You are not violating any legal class there, but you add enough information which gives you, the connect between you and the consumer. Very, very important. And of course, rest all like quality management, training, record keeping document is also very, very important thing. There's also some guidance I thought I'll share. Now go to see, you have all of this spice and sensitive, then you have some guidance and you process it well, then where do you take it? Some of the trade channels that I thought I will share with you. One, of course, the whole spices. You all are experts. Then next level of one step you go up, the ground spices. Then one step you go again and blended and seasoning. Then you go oleoresins, where Mr. Ramachandran today explained. They are pioneers, more than 40 years, decades they are there. I think third in the country to enter and capture the market globally. Then comes the nutraceutical, which again he said about another company they have started, but also Spice and Food Director also mentioned about some isolates coming out of piperine, curcumin, gingerol, shagol, and a lot of things like that people talk about, right? So isolates. That goes to the nutraceutical area. Then, when you look at the top from whole spices, ground spices, blended, seasoning, oleoresin, nutraceutical, the expertise level keep increasing as you go in this order. Whole spices, simple knowledge is okay. When you go to ground spices, you need to have technology coming in. Grinding will make loss of a lot of high volatile compounds. So you need to have some technology area. Seasoning, then you need to have culinary practices to come in. You need to have that knowledge coming in. Oleoresin is completely engineering technology and mix of many other science areas coming in. Nutraceutical, a little bit of a blend of food and probably pharmaceutical you have to give. Then another area which is emerging, because today food and pharmaceutical, you cannot draw a very solid line between them, because I see that this line is already blurred. The food is become medicine today, and prevention is better than cure, and a lot of things coming up. So your product make it into a processor, like plant lipids, and then they make an isolate, and that may get into a precursor for a pharmaceutical company. So this is how the whole order goes. So you have to keep this in mind. The trade channels are possible this level, and with increasing level of expertise involvement there. Then when you have the trade channels, then where are the opportunity areas within these trade channels? Some ideas I have. These are all not prepared with any reports I recently read, but this is from my experience I'm sharing. Okay. So one is sustainability, which earlier also we looked at in the food processing area. It's a huge area today. We as a company today, with about 26 US billion turnover company, majority of the effort goes into sustainability. There is a huge team sitting in there doing that. So that's an important area. Then next is organic. Organic, we all know that. So that's another area. Let's not go in detail, limit of time. Then geographical indication. Our director, spices food director, Dr. Reema, she mentioned about some names and spices, right? Some local names. Say, for example, Alapi ginger and all other things, some things she mentioned. I don't remember all of them, but that's an important point she made there. Please keep it in mind because we are losing all this geographical identification for our spices. This is another area where you can really focus on. There's an opportunity there. But then that requires a little bit of homework and then follow up and proper processing there. Then taking our regional flavors globally is another opportunity area. Because when I was with Nestle in Germany, we invited chefs from other countries, mainly from Indian, African, and then try to introduce in such markets. That's another area. Then comes ready to eat, ready to cook, the recipes, where spices is main that you can look at. And alternative processing technologies, which whatever I was trying to get some examples, but then when I took help from Dr. Anandram Krishnan, we discussed about cryogenic grinding. I'm not very sure about how our small scale industry can afford that, but they need to be aware that such technologies are there. Probably, people like Mr. Ramachandran are already doing it for decades there. Then we come to that, the export market. That spice market, if you totally take whatever we have, 15% we are exporting, right? So nearly 85% is for local market. But when you look at the technology, for the 15%, maybe 85% of the technology goes into catering this 15%. My assessment, but I don't have any reference to support my numbers. This is for people like Dr. Anand Ramakrishnan and Dr. Reema Sri to take note. The technology, all that is mainly a lot of things we are focusing on this 15% of export. Of course, they bring a lot of dollars to us. But the 85% is also people like today, the people who joined us today, they comprise of this 85%. But there also we need to put quite a lot of technology support for these teams, which I can see our government today taking a lot of efforts to do that. And then I see IFPT taking lead in that. So I'm very positive towards that. So with that opportunity areas, the last one is under quality. When you go to a spice industry, go to any or any food processing industry, quality control, you go, you'll see only chromatography, right? Gas chromatography, liquid chromatography, ion chromatography, you name any chromatography, they will have it. But can we all afford that? May not be. But do we need all of that to maintain a quality? May not, right? So then let me tell you, how do we do that? So next level of that is the small scale industries. When they come, basic thing what they need to have is a physico-chemical microbiological analysis to maintain that. Because we are not going to go into measuring what kind of curcuminoids within the curcuminoid mixture, how many are orthomethoxy, bismethoxy, curcumin, all that. Nobody is going to ask you all of that because we are just mainly only selling spices and spice blends. So quality is very important, taste is very important, and food safety is important. For that, minimal testing equipments are enough. And I can see Dr. Ananda Ramakrishnan made some efforts earlier with taking small van into the melas and festivals. And that lab, one can look at it, really a minimal approach. Easily you can put that in with few lakhs of rupees and you can have a very good quality control laboratory. So now, even if you cannot afford that, if you are in the micro level industry, then what do we do? Then again, I would take support of such institutions where you have a lot of, even if you don't have PH meter, there are pH strips you can use. And pathogenic detection strips are available for a few rupees. Probably you can use one strip to check the quality of your product and food safety of your products. So such methods are all available. It's all no need to go for a textbook reading or asking for an expensive expert to come and help you. All this information is available in public domain. You need to put some efforts and collect this information and follow. So with that, I would like to end my speech now here, and I again thank the team ISPT, Dr. Anandram Krishnan, for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to invite Dr. D.V. Chidaran, sir, Assistant Professor and Head, IFPT, for a formal vote of thanks, please.
Thank you, Silpi. Respected Chief Guest, Dr. Jix Antony, sir, Global Led Innovation, Private Label and Food Service. Next, Dr. A.B. Remashri, ma'am, Director Spice Board, and Sri Ranjit Ramchandran, sir, CEO, Plant Lipids, Private Limited, and Sri Anandram Krishnan, sir, Director, IAPT, and then resource persons, faculties, and participants. Good afternoon to all. So it is a great privilege to extend vote of thanks in this Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav ODOP webinar series. On behalf of MOFPI and the IAPT family, sincerely thank our chief guest, Dr. Jix Antony, sir. Antony, sir, who has made his gracious presence in today's program in spite of his busy schedule. Also, I would like to thank our guest, Dr. A.B. Rima, ma'am, Remashri, ma'am, so Director Spice Board, for her inspiring speech on spice processing opportunities from India and also globe. She explained very nicely. Thank you, ma'am. And also, I would like to thank our guest, Sri Ranjit Ramachandran, sir, CEO Plant Lipids, for his inspiring speech on spice processing opportunities for industrial opportunities. So he explained very nicely. Thank you, sir. Next, we'd like to thank our beloved director, sir, Dr. C. Anandram Krishnan, sir, for his continuous support for organizing this event in a fruitful manner. And also, we are extremely thankful to all resource persons for they are going to deliver the valuable input during this program. Also, I would like to thank all participants from all over India who are participating in this program. And also, I would like to thank all our head of departments, faculties, staffs, and then for their input for making this program successful. And also, special thanks to our PMFME team, Computer Center, for the support. So once again, thank you all those who have attended this program. So thank you. Jai Hind.